I'm gonna have a look at TRVL quickly. If anyone is doesn't know, I'm doing a live journal of this token, and I've started a playlist on my YouTube channel. I've only had my channel going from the beginning of December last year, so 2 months now, and I've got a playlist now, and one of my playlists is TRVL. Like maybe what we need to didn't mean to play that. There. So I'm trying to create a Marve says 50k by Monday. So I'm trying to create a journal of the price action on TRVL. I think I'm very interested in TRVL because TRVL is the utility token of Dtravel, and I think travel is a very interesting unoccupied space in crypto, and I think there's a lot of future growth in this space because it's basically unoccupied. It's very fresh, and it's basically virgin territory. It's like the Wild West like a few hundred years ago, and I'm just starting to journal the price action because I think we've turned in the lows on the higher time frame, and I'm very interested to see how far we can go and see how high we can go in the future. I'm very interested to just have a live account of that. I'm very bullish on the project, and I'm very bullish on this space, and mainly it's because I'm an Airbnb super host. I've been doing Airbnb for a good part of 10 years, and I've seen how Dtravel has transformed my own business in the ability for me to accept payments directly from my returning guests. So I'm very interested to see how this performs in the future and whether there's an uptake from Airbnb hosts. There's a lot of Airbnb hosts in the world. There's probably millions. I think there's about 3 or 4 million Airbnb hosts worldwide. So I don't think it'd be that difficult to take for Dtravel to take a market share from Airbnb. So I'm very interested in the price action on this token. Yesterday we had a very bullish day. This is a really strong bullish candle that was printed yesterday. It's basically an engulfing candle. We've taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of price action in one candle, minus this lower one, so maybe 7. But anyway, we've taken out quite a lot of price action in this one candle. So we're getting a lot of bullish candles printing on TRVL. And what I'm seeing with the price action is that the dips are being bought up. Yeah. The sellers are becoming exhausted, and then the price is just being bought up, and people are just filling their bags. We are in a consolidation range still. So this is KuCoin. We're above the point of control. Yesterday, the point of control flipped into support, and then the price expanded. You see that? And we are now underneath a major SR flip line. The one that I've marked here, the price of that is about 4.6 cents. And I think it's normal to consolidate under resistance for a period of time. And what you want to see with consolidation underneath resistance is for the price to just be accumulated and for that resistance level to be tested multiple times. And eventually what happens is the resistance level breaks eventually. And then you're basically forming a new range above a previous resistance line, which becomes your support line. Yeah, that's kind of how the price moves. And so we haven't experienced that yet, but what I am seeing is bullish consolidation. I'm still seeing bullish consolidation. I'm not really seeing anything different. And I think this Dragonfly Doji from the previous week was an opportunity for the bears to sell. And what I'm seeing is a failure of bearishness, continued failures of bearishness. Like, I think there's been a lot of reason for people to sell and people just aren't selling. Yeah, we've had a lot of reason for people. There's been delays in certain aspects of the project, and a lot of anticipation of future updates because of previous kind of lack of performance in certain areas, but people are still buying. So I think the sentiment is just still better bullish. It's just bullish sentiment that I'm seeing, and the reflection of that sentiment, you're seeing it in the price action because people are still buying. And the one thing you have to note is there are no perpetuals in this token, so people are buying spot. And so when the price is moving up, it's because people are pushing the price up. So the more we get that, the more bullish the behavior will become, because it just means then that people are willing to buy at whatever price, because now it's no longer about the price, it's about the quantity of TRVL that people are trying to accumulate. Yeah, so naturally it's always better to buy the dips, and so you're looking to buy red candles. But we are getting into a stage now where people are just starting to buy at whatever the cost. They don't care. We're getting into that situation. Marve is saying Hex had its second high level reached in 1 month, pushing more than 16% on the daily. Also, Doge is retrieving previous highs. I'll have a look at those. I am interested in Hex, actually. So I think with TRVL, I think it's quite a good sign that on KuCoin at least, we're above the point of control. I think that is a very important level to get past. And the other exchange was Bybit. And so you see on Bybit, we're above the point of control now. We're into the value area high. So I think everything's looking quite healthy as far as TRVL is concerned. Like, I don't know what else to say other than it's looking really, really mega bullish. Eventually what's going to happen is, like, for example, today's price action. Let me go and have a look. Let me just comment on today's price action. So we are into some resistance levels. Some people are taking profit, but the volume is dropping off. Can you see the volume is decreasing? Yeah, a little bit of decreasing volume in the pullback, which is normal. And what will happen is the price will kind of pull back until it finds support. And then you're going to get new participants, or because they're looking to get involved, or you're going to get people who've taken profit to start to reaccumulate lower down. So they'll take the profit and they'll put it back in. So effectively they're increasing their TRVL bag just by taking a little bit of profit and putting it back in. That's kind of the behavior that I'm seeing right now with TRVL. And effectively what you're forming is, eventually what you're trying to do is you're trying to take liquidity and push up. You're trying to take liquidity and then push up. That's what you're trying to do with the price. There was a pattern forming which has been broken now, and I mentioned this yesterday, and that was that we were forming these kind of descending highs, and then we just broke out of that idea. So before, what was happening was that people were taking profit and they were putting their limit orders underneath the previous highs. There wasn't enough impulse. There wasn't enough market buying to push through that. But then yesterday, it was the first time that it broke that idea, that trend. You see that? And then you just had a kind of, you just had an impulse. Now, I don't know, no one can predict the price action, but I think it's really good to see us go back into the highs of what I'm seeing as this range at the moment. This is the real range. Like even though the value area high is up there, I think this SR flip is really important. And the reason why it's important is because in the past, it's acted as support, it's acted as resistance, and it's acted recently as resistance too. So we're clearly into a resistance horizontal line. And what I'm hoping for in the future is to eventually see that price, that level broken, flipped into support, and for us to form a new consolidation range above this SR flip. I think that'd be very healthy bullish price action. And then once you get that kind of behavior, I think you're going to get more people interested in this token, simply because people don't like to buy into resistance. They like to buy on top of support. And so when people then start to analyze this chart, people who are very familiar with technical analysis, they'll clearly see these like higher time frame SR flips. They'll see that the price has finally been able to get back above it, and as long as it's consolidating, then they'll start to long the lows of this range. That will be their entry, and because then you'll have a really easy invalidation, because if the price does manage to get above here, you're basically, as a trader, this would be the trade. Like if you're trading this, that's the trade, because you have an easy invalidation. And then the all-time high is your target, 1.56. Something like that. And your invalidation is easy, because if the price then comes back under, that's a failed auction. You don't want to see that. So you have a really easy invalidation. So you have potentially have a very lucrative risk to reward ratio. It's 1 to 357 on this kind of trade. That's going back up to let me go to correctly, 1.56. That's the all-time high, roughly there. So you're looking at potentially a 1 to 348 risk to reward ratio. So on this kind of trade, if you do get back above this SR flip and you are able to take a long here with an invalidation underneath this SR flip, as long as the price doesn't invalidate your trade idea, which would be a failed auction, you're basically trading here to consolidate to go up, then if you were to risk $1,000 in this little bit here, then your reward to the all-time high, if you didn't take profit along the way, would be $348,000. That's a good trade. That's a really good trade. That's the kind of trade that you only need to get right, once every 300 times, and you're still making money. So it's very attractive trade. All right. Any questions about TRVL?